Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Before I begin, don't forget to join my Discord server called Luke 10's Hangar. I plan on joining weekly, so if anybody wants to fly together, we can make that happen. My Discord server is linked down in the description below. Today I'll be flying out the Spitfire F Mark 24 Griffin. The Spitfire was born in the mind of a uniquely talented engineer. His name was Reginald Joseph Mitchell, and he was the chief designer of the Supermarine Aviation Works in 1919 when he was only 24 years old. Hence why I named the video Mitchell's Legacy. The Supermarine Spitfire F Mark 24 was one of the final versions of the iconic British fighter aircraft, the Spitfire, which played a pivotal role in World War II. It was the accumulation of over a decade of design and development that saw the aircraft evolve from a nimble interceptor to a high-performance multi-role fighter. However, the Mark 24 itself was introduced towards the end of the war and was one of the final variants to be built in the early post-war years. The Spitfire Mark 24 had a Rolls-Royce Griffin 61 engine and had an armament of 4 20mm Hispanos. The Spitfire Mark 24 was the last variant to be built in the Spitfire line. The Mark 24 had several upgrades to its structure, including modifications to improve handling and operational stability. The cockpit was designed with better visibility, and the fuselage was strengthened to handle the increased engine power. While the Mark 24 was designed and produced in the post-war years, it was primarily used in the immediate post-war period, a time when the air forces of various nations were transitioning to newer jet aircraft like the Gloster Meteor and the F-4 Phantom. By the early 1950s, the Spitfire was retired from frontline service as jet aircraft took over air combat roles. However, it remained in use with various smaller air forces and a few non-combat roles until the early 1960s. Overall, the Spitfire F Mark 24 never saw combat. While the Mark 24 never had the chance to prove itself during World War II, it represents a principle of the Spitfire's development. The Spitfire's importance cannot be overstated, and even the Mark 24, though produced in limited numbers, continues admired for its role in the evolution of air combat. Many examples of the Mark 24 and earlier Spitfire variants are preserved and flown in air shows today, keeping the spirit of this legendary fighter alive. That's all for the history lesson. I hope you enjoy the combat. Right now I'm just up at altitude trying to find a dogfight. The Spitfire Mark 24 is a great high-altitude combat aircraft. I've got a huge Rolls-Royce engine up front, and I'm going to use that to my advantage. I've got this enemy LA-9 in sight. I'm going to try to drag him towards my airfield. I don't want to be dogfighting around all the enemies. I start climbing and turning in towards the enemy. I'm just trying to entice him a little bit. My end goal is to try to bait him in towards me. I see this P-51 behind my LA-9. Now I'm really going to try to drag the LA-9 over to the airfield. I really don't want to 2v1 this. The enemy P-51 started to dive away. Now it's just this LA-9. I start a shallow climb to try to bait him down to me. Now he's starting to dive down to me. The bait worked. All I have to do here is just try to force a turn fight. He'll never win it. As I'm in the dive here, I'm just making sure I don't get too fast. I'm trying to be as agile as possible. Now I start to pull back up and towards him, and then unfortunately he's just going to pull back up, which is the right idea. He starts to turn in towards me, losing all of his energy. I'm going to start turning in towards him as well. I fire at him there a couple times, see if it'll hit, but unfortunately they don't, and I'm just going to dive back down. He starts to do the same thing again, so I'm just going to do the same thing again. I wait for him to get a little bit closer. Now I'm going to turn in towards him. I'm just trying to be unpredictable here and dodge his bullets. He starts to get entirely too close, which is great for me. I dodge his bullets, go up and around him, and now he's entirely too far into the dogfight. I know I'll outturn him in literally every way here. He fell right into my trap. And then unfortunately I just barely miss him right there. But that's totally fine. I'm close enough where I can just follow him up. I'm also making sure as I'm climbing, I'm always going to be looking around me, being aware of all my surroundings. I start firing at him there, hit him, and take him out. Now I'm in the second game and I'm just trying to climb as high as I can so I can boom and zoom some people. Now I see two enemies below me and I really want to dive on this Bearcat. I start to dive on the Bearcat and it looks like he's pretty unsuspecting. As I'm in the dive, I'm always going to be looking around me, being aware of all my surroundings. This guy hasn't even noticed me yet. I fire at him there, get severe damage, and take him out. And then immediately after the kill, I'm going to climb back up to altitude. I'm always going to be looking around me, being aware of all my surroundings. And then as I'm climbing, I see that there are 3 enemies on my ally. I'm going to go help out my ally. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get there in time, and now I see that there's an ME-262. I definitely want to have him out of the game. As I'm diving down to the Sea of Red, I'm just trying to pick off somebody. And then I see that this Bearcat's trying to climb up to me, which is a horrible idea. All I have to do here is just energy trap him. I have so much more energy than he does. I see that he's about to stall, so I'm just going to turn in a little bit earlier to get my nose around. He's in a really bad spot here. I fire at him there. He starts to pull up, which is a horrible idea once again. Get severe damage, and I take him out. And then immediately after the kill, I'm going to climb back up to altitude, and I'm always going to be looking around me, being aware of all my surroundings. And then once again, as I'm climbing, I see this Tiger Cat and this ME-262, which is not very good. I know I'll never outrun the ME-262, and I really want nothing to do with the Tiger Cat right now. I push my nose down to gain as much airspeed as I can, and then as he keeps getting closer and closer, I'm going to turn in towards him. All I'm trying to do here is just make him overshoot. He'll outrun me, but he won't outturn me. I'm successful with making him overshoot. He crosses my nose, and I'm able to kill him. And then once again, immediately after they kill him and I climb back up to altitude, I'm always going to be looking around me, being aware of all my surroundings. And the ME-262 who I just killed really doesn't agree with how I killed him. All he had to do there was just turn away from me. There was no reason to just cross my nose like that. If you know that you're faster than your enemy, just boom and zoom them. Even if you miss your shots, just come around for a second try, just don't cross your enemy's nose. And now I see my ally MiG-9 on this Tiger Cat. I'm going to try to head for the Tiger Cat now. As I get a lot closer to him, he starts to climb up to me, which is very bold of him to do. And then right here he starts to go head on with me. I'm definitely not going to fully commit that. All I have to do here is just outmaneuver him. I'm using all my resources to my advantage. He starts to turn with me, which is a terrible idea. He's a lot heavier than I am and a lot less agile. As I'm in this dogfight, I'm always going to be looking around me, being aware of all my surroundings. He starts to lose all his energy and go vertical here. I get behind him. I fire at him there. And I'm able to take him out. We're really having some great teamwork. And now, of course, I see that there's a P-51 off my left wing just 3 miles away from me. I'm definitely going to try to dogfight this. I wait for him to get a little bit closer, fire at him there. And then I'm just going to dive away. I'm definitely not going to fully commit this. Even if he recommits the head-on, I'll still be able to dodge his bolts because I'm pretty much a professional at that at this point. He breaks off of me and goes for my MiG-9, and then he gets his left wing ripped off. I'm going to check the scoreboard here to see if my teammate got severe damage. I see that he did. So now I'm able to take the kill. If one of you gets severe damage on an enemy and the other one takes it, you will both get kill credit. And just like that, we win the game. Thank you everybody for watching, and I hope you enjoyed my video. If anybody has any suggestions on what aircraft they want me to fly next, please leave in the comment section down below and I'd be happy to fly that aircraft.